This is my old channel. Throughout the years since 2020, I have brought it up in terms of my past and everything, and as of this video being uploaded, this channel has been deleted forever off of YouTube. However, before that, I decided to take a look back at pretty much every project that I had worked on for this channel, all the way up to the end of 2019 when I left. Going through 1 year alone took 4 hours, I'm not even kidding, and yes, I was absolutely cringing at a lot of points. So, because I figured that nobody wants to sit through a 4-hour video of me giving commentary on my old projects, and also, that is a nightmare to edit, and even more so of a bitch when I have to export it, I have decided to break off the different sessions of me watching my own content over the years so that it's quicker to get out the door, and that way I can turn these binge sessions into a full-length journey. So, without further ado... Okay, I bought this album, the year that I did this. It's by Bass Nectar. It's a song that I've been a fan of for a while called Butterfly. Yeah, I had this idea to make this AMV for a while, and... yeah.
Oh, I like a lot of Bass Nectar songs.
I only have the one album of Vavavoom. There's a lot of really great songs on it. Like, the song was incredible. Like, it was really unlike a lot of the songs on the album, because it was very, like, atmospheric and mellow. And it was just like, I want to do an AMV to this, and I just decided, like, yeah.
Just has a nice tone.
Yeah. Yeah, I very much wanted to go for different, like, atmospheric kind of mellow vibing scenes and whatnot. Like this scene from The Wind Rises, which is, reference to an earthquake. I don't know why specifically this scene I used it out of The Girl Who Left Her Time. Like, I don't, like, it's because here's the thing. This movie fits, but this scene in particular is literally just her getting hit by a train. It's okay, though. She survives.
Oh.
I say that with no context. Getting hit by a train. It's okay. She survived. It was really easy to figure out what I wanted for this. Yeah, like I genuinely, it's just like it's one of those things that's been on my mind for a while, and this is when it. Oh right, this. Don't know why that exists, but it does.
I like how you have a very atmospheric AMV, and I was like, you know what? Time to ruin the movie.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, this was done specifically because of a Markiplier dance.
Oh.
Because I set this to some music. By the way, this is the first time I think I used. No, it's not the first time, but this is one of the first times I used Esta, which is a like he makes a lot. He's an EDM artist who makes a lot of what is called selection. Music is really, really good.
Never heard of him.
Ruby. Junior is way.
I just want to say the Wind Rises for these kinds of music videos just fits perfectly because a lot of the flying scenes are just so good.
There's a Studio Ghibli film.
I did went off about this already, but did you actually know Hayao Miyazaki initially was not going to direct Howl's Moving Castle?
What?
Yeah. You ever seen Wolf Children, Summer Wars, Boy and the Beast, right?
I saw Wolf Children, but that's it.
Okay. Wolf Children is directed by Mamoru Hosoda. He initially was going to do Howl's Moving Castle. He left the project because basically they wanted him to be exactly like Miyazaki. And his whole thing was like, no, I don't want to be like, I want to do my own thing. And it was just like, and then that makes you wonder, what is his own thing? And then you watch movies like Wolf Children, that's what his own thing is. Like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
It's a ridiculous expectation.
Yeah, I thought it was just a joke that Ghibli was sort of like, when Ghibli was sort of like riding on Miyazaki's coattails, but no, they struck gold with him, and now every project that they do apparently has to be Miyazaki level, and it's like.
That is an insane expectation. That's like if every Pixar film had to have the exact same director every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, creativity is just gonna be drained.
Mm-hmm. I heard recently that apparently the 6th movie of One Piece, which was directed by Mamoru Hosoda, apparently on a meta level has a lot to say about his trauma for working at Studio Ghibli.
The 6th film, like the one that's like really depressing.
Yeah.
aka my favorite one.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people. I watched it. Yeah, I think it's a lot of people's favorite movie.
I think it's like Baron on like a secret island or something.
Yeah, it is definitely like you can tell easily because it is directed by the same director for Wolf Children. But yeah, he was initially going to, and then he did stuff like the Digimon Adventure movie. He did stuff like Summer Wars, Wolf Children, Boy and the Beast, Mirai to the Future. Like the Girl Who Leapt Through Time. He's done a lot. And it's just like, thinking about it, it's just like, if this is what his vision, this is what he wanted to do, how would Howl's Moving Castle have been? That's what I want to know in his vision.
It's a good question. Even if it did, though, we don't know how far the production like that went in. Like, sorry to pause that. I'm just saying it's
No.
Sometimes about production cycles, we don't know if it like was like an idea he had or like if it actually went into production or something.
From the sounds of it, I wasn't there, but from the sounds of it, it might have been something. He had a decent hand in production, and then it just came to a point where it's like, you know what, I'm done. It might, if I had to hazard a guess. Like, I'm just trying to put myself in the place of if I was in that position where it's just like, yeah, I kind of want to do my own thing. Well, actually, we want you to be like this thing. I'm like, I guess. And then, not only having to emulate what someone else's creative mind is, but also dealing with, essentially, whiplash. Dealing with the J.K. Simmons just constantly, again and again, symbol thrown at you, like, again and again. It's not your boyfriend's dick, stop playing on it. Like, again and again and again, like, manipulation and everything. And it's just, like, to the point where, on a meta level, if One Piece Movie 6 is really a focus around, like, the trauma that Mamoru Hosoda had working at Studio Ghibli, like, dear God.
It sounds rough. Like, I'm concerned when it's like you look into like the production of anime and its history, because it had a really fucked up history if you really look back at it.
Yeah.
Like, Astro Boy was like the first that like really blew up, and the story behind it is basically that they made a terrible deal with a company and it just happened to pay off. Like, I don't know the exact story, but all I know is basically the creator of Astro Boy wanted to create Astro Boy, but unfortunately the production company wouldn't let him do that because that takes too much time and money. So what he does is he says, "You give us the money, and you can keep pretty much 100% of all the royalties of even the toy sales. Like, we just want like the revenue this show will generate."
Yeah.
And well, it was a hit. It was like a financial hit, and it helped the company going forward. But unfortunately, it kind of made like Astro Boy's creator Tezuka, I believe.
Mhm.
I believe that's his name. It made his name so popular, and it made all the other artists who worked for him pretty much not popular.
Mm.
And it started a weird spiral where basically you have to be the head of the project or no one is going to remember you.
Yeah. It's sort of the, in its own way, it's sort of the Roger Rabbit of anime. Where it's like, Roger Rabbit, like the big names of it really set the stage for, like, Warner Brothers and Disney. But, who the fuck is James Baxter? And then Beauty and the Beast comes out. All of a sudden, one of the most impressive scenes at the time, now he's getting attention for that, and now he's getting more projects like El Dorado, Spirit, Moses, the opening to Kung Fu Panda 1. Like,
yeah, you have to really make a dent in the industry, and the thing about the anime industry right now is because of what Tezuka kind of set up. Well, the same tradition is still going on to this day. Like, this is why so many studios are rushing to pump out shows consistently,
Yeah.
because anime is just not as profitable as it is because it's so expensive to make, and also people pirating it all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
and the
the only
the legal side of it is not helping, especially in the West.
Oh yeah, definitely. Not to mention streaming and all that.
Oh yeah.
It fucks over pretty much every creator. But the thing is, if you can make that cultural impact, like something like Chainsaw Man, for example, where
Mhm.
everyone remembers its name, regardless of like, quality or like story level, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because man, you make your profit back.
Yeah.
You still are throwing like 10 dartboards at a you're throwing 10 darts at a dartboard, and it's like, hey, that one hit.
Yeah. Like, I 100% get that. I mean, like, Toei Animation, I mean, is a great example of this. They are still riding the high of Dragon Ball, even after, like, pretty much the creator's been done with it for, I think, a while. Because I don't really think he worked on Dragon Ball Super, if I recall correctly. Aside from, like, input on the movies, I think he was more so he might have taken sort of a supervising role in the same way of like what Kishimoto did for Boruto,
Hmm.
where
'Cause-
like as far as I could tell, pretty much after the success of Dragon Ball, I think Toriyama sort of like decided to take a step back more so. Came back for movies like for Battle of Gods and Broly and Superhero, sure, but for the most part, I think it's just been like other people working on Dragon Ball, and now it's just like we're past the point where it's like now Toriyama is not even working on Dragon Ball anymore, but we are getting stuff like Daima and whatnot. And then there's also like again One Piece with like just Eiichiro Oda's long-going series, which Toei Animation has yet to actually take a genuine break from that. Like I know a lot of people know that studio for specifically like Dragon Ball, but One Piece has not had a break. I
oh
don't really
no.
think it's genuinely had a break in any way. Really, like I imagine the manga has at times, but oh boy, that schedule Oda has the infamous wanted the infamous wanted note where it's like you had to be quote unquote ready to die for One Piece. The amount of episodes that come out week to week, even nowadays with the studio, it's like, yeah, just oh man,
One Piece is a nightmare in its own
oh yeah,
aspects, and I'm still trying to fucking keep up.
oh yeah.
As of right now, I started my journey at my senior year of high school. I've graduated college, and I'm only halfway through.
I started my journey at working 10-hour job at a warehouse, and I got so far as like dealing with like the first 3 arcs, and even then, the furthest I got was like the end of part 1 before the time skip.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot to go through.
Yeah. I get, like it's the entire journey is like it's all about the entire journey, but dude, the journey is just like this is why I say legitimately, if you don't really know if you're gonna get into One Piece, just like take a look at the first 3 episodes or so, see if it's something you like. If it's not, just leave. It's not worth the commitment if you're not gonna worth putting the time. Like unless you're paid for it, unless this is your job, don't bother.
Like genuinely, it's a fun show at times,
Oh
and
no, it
honestly,
is.
it's I really like it, and I loved watching the movies progressively evolve
Mhm.
because it really feels like to me like a journey, just
Yeah.
like you said. 'Cause it's like holy shit, I finally got here, but then it just gets longer
Yeah.
and longer and longer to the point where I'm gonna have to spend like what 500 more fucking hours committed to One Piece.
Yeah.
And what else do we have on the rise? We got like the new Devil May Cry show that's coming out.
Mm.
We got another season of Castlevania Nocturne. I'm more interested into that, and it's just like I don't really want to spend this much time devoted to one show. It's why
Yeah.
we can't even start Naruto. It's just too long now.
Oh yeah, like Naruto was very much a case of like if you grew up with it as a kid, you stick with it. If not, you're just gonna have to like have it as a job and react to it. But if otherwise, it's. There is a Naruto Kai that cut down so much of like the filler and a lot of the padding that made it shorter. So there's that. It's an unofficial project though.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean like regarding like the whole thing with like anime and everything, and going back to Ghibli, I mean like you brought up how essentially like what they were doing with anime now is sort of like the mainstay for a lot of the studios. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I 100% agree because it's like you look at like the conditions of a lot of animation studios. Like you have a video of like Giga going to a animation studio and looking at one anime in particular where they will talk about how an episode alone, like backgrounds can take somewhere between an hour and a day, and it's for like a scene that doesn't even last like a full like 5 seconds or so. It is insane just how much detail goes into these shows that many of us will just take for granted to consume. And then it's just like then you also have to consider like not every studio is going to have like this studio schedule or everything, because then you have studios like Mappa who have had the Zom 100 is pretty much a commentary on that studio's working conditions. And then there's Studio Bones who have like I'm sure that the people are getting their what they need and everything, but dude, like there was a year where they were coming out with My Hero Academia, Carol and Tuesday, which was an original animated series, and a film around My Hero Academia all at once.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, are the people here getting what they need? How long did this take? Like, legitimately, and it's like genuinely, I think it's really sad to hear and everything. But then you also have like some kernels of truth, like for example, why Kyoto Animation to this day is one of my favorite studios is because they take their time on projects. Like they consider the health and well-being of their studio to be the utmost concern. Like hell, we are like how many years after Dragon Maid, and we're just now getting news about season 3. Like that's how long they're like playing the long game and waiting, instead of having it year to year to year. Hell, like cutting back to Mamoru Hosoda, his track record of movies is one every 3 years or so.
Yeah.
That is impressive, and considering the detail and the amount of time put into it, it's an impressive amount of time. And honestly, it's just like yeah. So there are good people, and there are decent places to work in the industry, but does not change the fact that the industry is still a monster.
I think the problem isn't just the industry, but it's also the audience that consumes it.
Yep, I 100% agree with that, because like again, we just consume this stuff without really much of a second thought. And I vote, and ever since I heard about like the conditions, like there are people on Twitter that have gone off who have worked in the industry. It's like, hey, if you're thinking about working in anime overseas, don't, because the schedules, like the conditions and everything, it's not going to be as fun as you think it is. Like as soon as I started hearing about that, the more I became more of an advocate for, hey, if you guys need the time to work on this, take it. Like I don't need fucking Blue Exorcist season 3 right now if it means that you guys need more time to work on it. I don't need the newest Hunter x Hunter Arxis fighting game if you guys need an extra year to work on it. Like
yeah. Cuz like I think a good example might be something like how I looked at the One Punch Man anime, because when the first season came out,
yeah,
it is fucking phenomenal. It
yeah,
looks
absolutely.
amazing. But then when the second season came out and they changed an animation studio,
yeah,
I and a bunch of people got pissed because it's like,
Mhm.
oh my god, they disgraced One Punch Man. And now I look back at it and it's like, well, it's not a bad season.
Yeah.
I mean, it tells a story, it tells it well. It's not like the first season was like amazing in storytelling. It's
No.
just its animation was great.
Yeah, that's the thing. Madhouse, like, it was one of the series that they had come out with in how many years? Like, their biggest one was, like, Hunter x Hunter. They made a movie, and they have sort of been on and off with work, but they haven't really come out with too much in a while. And then they come out with One Punch Man, this titan for the time. And then, now, like, season 2 is coming up, and they're like, "Nah, we're not gonna work on it," and work gets passed down to JC staff. Oh man, like the studio doesn't always have the best animation, but they try. Like, I think one of the biggest examples of one of the biggest, like, oh my god, this is what you're going with, is like, oh my god, like, what the fuck is with the animation studio industry and whatnot, is Alifreda. Like, have you ever heard about the story?
No, I haven't. I'm actually
So
kinda intrigued
so the original story, a lot of people have called it like edgy, like trash and whatnot. It was basically just a guy gets backstabbed by his classmates in another world, and then becomes this lone wolf who kills anybody who betrays him and wants to survive and everything, which is fine. Initially, it was going to be done by Studio White Fox, who's made some pretty good series, Katana Katari, Kame ga Kill. Like, they've made some really good, they've made some stories with some good animation. Now, the creator, for whatever reason, said they didn't like how the studio handled the characters. So it was like, you know what? And this is sometime when the deadline had to be met. You know what? I don't want you guys to work on it anymore. Like, what? I don't want you guys to work on it anymore. Hand off production to another studio. And I don't know if they had to meet the same deadline or if they had to push back the deadline, but whatever happened, this series has writing on the wall of being, oh my god, it is, like, completely, like, they had to use shortcuts, there's so many animation errors, like, it's really bad. And it's gotten a lot of the hate and whatnot. But then when they came back for season 2, oh god, the animation is significantly better. Which goes to show, you gave the studio its time it needed.
Because I think a lot of people misjudge how long animation takes. Like, it is exhausting for how much animation takes. I think if you want like really good examples, there is a scene in like the I think it was the 2009 TMNT movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it was animated by a not really a newbie studio, but they were like a new studio with a pretty high budget.
Yeah.
And since the animators were from Korea, um, it took them 1 year to animate a 30-second scene.
Wow.
And it was like a pan camera shot,
Oh, wow.
all in one take. It looks phenomenal, but it's like most people wouldn't fucking care about that.
Yeah.
I mean, a fucking year for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
And then there's also, like, stories like Hoodwinked, where that movie was made by a studio, I think, in the Philippines or whatever. It was made by a foreign studio where it's like, that was their first time ever doing it. And, oh yeah, it looks like a, like, bargain bin 30-cent movie you would get. But the casting, the comedy, it works so well. And it's a really good movie. And then in regards to, like, animation, I mean, if you want a good example of, like, essentially like good animation, and I mean, like, you can look no further than Studio Orange. Studio Orange, the studio that made Hoseki no Kuni, the studio that made Beastars, the Trigun reboot, like, their studios are their like titles are so impressively good, but they take so long on it. And when you watch it, you're like, I get why they have to take long on it. Like, there's a number of scenes in Hoseki no Kuni that are just so drop dead gorgeous. There are scenes in Beastars where it's just like, oh my god, like the amount of time it took to work on this. Like Jonah Scott, the voice of the main character, said like somebody spent days, weeks, months, maybe even years animating this, and it looks so good. It's like my performance has got to be perfect, and it's just like, yeah, it's just, and in some cases you have cases where it's like there doesn't seem to be a lot of work put into the anime, but it is still to this day a really good anime. Like The Way of the House Husband. It has a lot of these.
I love it.
It has a lot of these zoom in, zoom outs, pans, cheap like PNG mouse moving edits and whatnot, but it's the consistent style means that it's deliberate, and also that it is just that it adds to the comedy. It adds to the actual experience. And it goes to show that, yeah, you don't need, like, fucking... You don't need the Komi-san can't communicate anime levels of Sakuga every single time. You don't need Studio Bones level fight animation every single time to make a good series.
Yeah, literally. Because I remember you recommended me The Way of the House Husband. I really liked it. I tried showing my brother that. He hated it. He literally hated it because of this animation. And I'm like, oh my god, we got so picky. Because
the animation, well, that's the best part.
But I think the problem is we're getting so picky now. Like,
yeah,
there is constantly feuds with people like on Twitter, Reddit, or wherever you go, where people will just say that's like, if this show is not peak, they're just going to boycott it. They're just going to hate it.
God.
Just for the sake of it.
There are people who I imagine are either like 8-year-olds or 16-year-olds who are going off about shows like Tensura being incredibly boring and mid, and like this is your example of peak anime, and it's around a series that wants to focus on civilization, like actually being a genuine world and building it, and it's focusing on that so that when they actually get to some of the biggest moments in the series, a lot of the groundwork has been laid. It is legitimately the Billy and Mandy moment. Just, am I the only one who understands the intricacies of this cinematic masterpiece? This movie isn't stupid. You're stupid.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so true.
Okay.
Though.
Anyway, I want to continue with this, but yeah, there's a whole. I could make a full podcast episode talking about like what I think about anime. Honestly, one of these days.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. Any excuse to not cringe at my work is a fine enough excuse for me. I say this, but I'm actually really enjoying this. Yeah, this is it. This is the dance that got me to do this. It's so stupid.
Inspiration somewhere.
I'm spending all my time for watching. Wanna take me running straight, till the night is up. I'm get it. I don't know if I'm not making this shit for 3 years. I'm in the same dance